Hey y'all. So, the three forms of visual rhetoric that I wanted to talk about today are remembering and memorializing, protest or resistance, and also commodifying and consuming. So, beginning with remembering and memorializing, I thought about the first thing in Louisiana is the state capitol. So, inside of the state capitol, once you get to the area where Huey P was shot in the elevator, in that hallway, there is a bunch of pictures of all of the former governors of Louisiana. Um, and so I, automatically thought about this when memorializing and remembering because obviously we're remembering all of our past governors and all of our leaders in Louisiana, through our capital. So, of course, we're memorializing them and everything that they've done. It lists under their pictures what year, they were in office and all that other stuff. And it's also in line for chronologically for, when they were governor and all that other stuff. So the next one is protest or resistance. And once again, I kind of thought of our governor, Governor Huey P. Long. So on campus, I'm sure most people know that campus was supposed to stretch towards the river rather than towards Highland, if that makes sense. So the campus was supposed to end at the river, but so so Huey P actually expanded it back the other way. So if you notice, the journalism building is actually kind of turned backwards. And so the front of it is actually facing the stadium and the hill, basically, the hill going back down towards Nicholson. That's actually the front of the building, whereas most people think the area where the bus stop is and all that other stuff is the front of the building, but that's actually the back of the building. So I think that's kind of cool. And also going along with the protests, our stadium actually, they didn't want us to have a new stadium, and so Huey P said that he was building dorms, which is why our stadium looks like dorms. Said he was building dorms when in actuality he was building a football stadium. So I think that's a good example of protest and resistance because Huey P was, this strong governor who basically did what the hell he wanted. And I think that he was a great example of, basically standing against, standing against things that the government or the majority wants and all that other stuff, and basically doing what he wanted and doing what he thinks is right, whether it was right or wrong, but he still resisted in a sense. And I think that the Tiger Stadium and the journalism building are good images of that. They're very indicative of the resistance and the protest that Huey P did at that time, that we still have around today. So the next one would be commodifying and consuming. And the first thing that came to mind with us being in Louisiana was Raising Cane's. So, of course, Raising Cane's was founded first here in Louisiana. And, now it's expanded a little bit more. But it did start in Louisiana. And that's all we see is Raising Cane's. Just like in other states, they see a certain food chain very often, but here we see Raising Cane's very often, ads for Raising Cane's, we see it on TV, we see it just everywhere we go, and we all love Raising Cane's. It's a staple fast food restaurant in Louisiana. I think that's important because I feel like they want to continue to entice people in Louisiana to support Raising Cane's because, it's basically ours, I guess. It's part of our culture. It's part of who we are, Raising Cane's is. So with that, they're always showing ads and stuff like that. And so I think that with the ads showing up so often and us knowing and seeing that ad and automatically associating it with Raising Cane's, associating it with our culture and with Louisiana, and you know, us having been the first. I think that that makes people sort of feel that they are a part of something, and of course you always want to feel like you're a part of something or feel like you are a part of this culture and whatnot. And so that's gonna want to entice people to buy it even more so because they want to have that feeling while they're eating their Raising Cane's. They want to feel like they belong or want to feel like, you know, that they're part of something bigger. So yeah, I think I really did learn a lot in this class about visual rhetoric. I really didn't think that it would go as deep as it does, but I'm glad that I learned it because now when I just see images, I automatically think to kind of pick them apart and think about, you know, what a deeper meaning is behind it rather than just seeing things on the surface. So I'm very glad I took this class. So bye, all.